it's coffee time. We had quite the weekend. I'm gonna put this down on the ground. Because on Saturday we had Coffee with Crendor, and on Sunday we had the DIY show, so it feels like it's been forever since it's just been you and I, but had a lot of fun, and I really like how they both turned out. So speaking of the Coffee with Crendor day, so that day wound up being really fun because right after that Jessie was like, hey, I'm going to this arcade, I'm doing this thing, do you guys want to come with me? And I was like, well, do I get food afterwards? And he was like, yes, we'll get food after. And I was like, okay, then sure, I'll come, and that way I get to spend more time with both of you guys and see Eric some more and whatever. So we went to this arcade because Rodeo Arcade, which is Maker's kind of merch company, Rodeo Arcade was doing a signing there. So like Shay Carl and all of them were there, and Mary Doodles was there, and then we were there. But of course most of the people that came to this arcade were there to see Shay. And the arcade was so weird. I walked in and I was immediately confused. But it was then explained to me that this is an arcade, which is apparently all the rage now. This is an arcade that only uses motion systems. So it's an arcade that's meant to help people lose weight. So they only have dance games and movement games and sports games that make you move, and I was like, what? It was so weird. It was just like lots of open space with just screens all over the place. It was bizarre. But anyway, so there are all of these teens and tweens that are there to see Shay Carl and his whole family. And they were all getting very emotional about it. And then we were kind of like shoved off into a corner, and it was hilarious because, okay, first off, we had a little group of you guys that was awesome, and we all just kind of like hung out and talked about whatever the entire time. And we had a bunch of Jessie's posters and TB's posters. I have one shirt there, actually. I keep forgetting to tell you guys about this. There was a shirt that was made for me during VidCon. It was supposed to be a VidCon exclusive shirt, but there wound up not being enough people that wanted it that came to VidCon, so they have some extras there. So if you want that, it's at Rodeo Arcade. You can feel free to buy that. I can't remember if I've mentioned it before, but I figure since we were talking about it anyway. They didn't bring my shirt to this thing though. I was like, really? He was like, well, I didn't know you were gonna be here. And I was like, TB ain't here. And yet you have his poster. And they were like, wow. It was lots of fake diva going on. But we got to draw all over TB's posters and give them to people, and sorry John. And it was really, really fun. And yeah, so then after that, we tried to get Hobbit's tickets because the Hobbit. So we were like, okay, we should go upstairs because there was a cinema attached to this little outlet mall area that we were in. We're like, okay, if we go upstairs, then we can get some Hobbit tickets. We'll just get like a ton of them, right? So we go up there, and Jessie is insisting on getting the intense IMAX 3D whatever ones, and I was like, okay. And so the cost of the tickets is insane. It's like so much money. And he was like, okay, well, we want 16 of those. The lady was like, okay, and brought up the little grid that shows you the seats that are left. And it was literally only the very first row. Everything else was completely taken, and he was like, oh, screw it, never mind. It's like, yeah, that's... I don't want to sit in IMAX? No, I don't want to sit in first row. Are you kidding me? I'm honestly perfectly fine with just seeing it not 3D. Just seeing normal Hobbit. I'm cool with that. I'm so excited for that movie. Oh my gosh. Last night during Walking Dead, they had like an exclusive new trailer sneak peek thingy, and I was like, ah! I felt so many feelings. I'm planning on going to the cinema as a Hobbit, and I can't wait. It's like the easiest costume in the world. All you have to do is be short and put hair on your feet. You're done. So I can't wait. But anywho, so then after that, we wanted to get ramen. And I was like, guys, I've eaten lots of ramen, and I know the best place. But then I was filled with so much anxiety. I was like, what if they hate it? You know, like, when you suggest something, you're so excited for whoever you're talking to try this thing and like validate you, but at the same time you're like, wait, this could go the opposite way. What if they're like, oh, this was a waste of our time? And especially since like Crendor was visiting for only a couple of days, I was like, oh no, what if he hates the ramen? So we went to my favorite place, and we all sat down, and Jesse got this, he got the special, which was the spicy ramen, and the waitress like fell in love with him. It's the same waitress that I always have, and she kept like coming over and asking him if he liked the special and how he was doing and if he needed any water, and I was like, oh, Jesse, she loves you. But it was like huge. It was like this big, filled with spicy ramen, and I was like, that is a thing. I got my norm, and then Crendor got what I got. And at the end we were all just like, that was so good. We're all just like, this was the best. This was the best thing ever. And it was funny because then later, I guess like Day 9 and Husky were talking, and I guess Day 9 was at that same ramen place at the exact same time that we were, and I was like, what? How did I, no offense, but how did I not hear you? Like, or how did you not hear me? We are both loud people. So that was really funny coincidence. I was like, oh, the entire YouTube community was apparently at the ramen place. But anyway, so that was, I felt very happy. I got to help them experience delicious ramen. And then today, I was invited to do a web show called What's Trending that showcases entirely like new media YouTube videos that are trending, and things just in media in general that are kind of a big deal. So apparently whenever they talk about video games, they have Jesse on, and Jesse asked if I was interested in coming on as well, and so I was like, sure. The game that we played was Far Cry 3, and I was like, I'll be honest, I have barely played Far Cry games whatsoever. I hear that this one's great, and it's obviously beautiful, but I'm not gonna promise you. And he was like, don't worry about it. I was like, okay. And so we wound up playing a little bit of that. It was literally like maybe 10 minutes, and it was cool because it's live, so there's like a chat component where people that were in the chat room could ask questions and things, and there were comments on my game face and how intense I look, and I felt ashamed. But overall it was like really fun, and then we ate super burritos afterwards. Because he was like, okay, I'll take you home, and I was like, burritos, can we get burritos? Burritos sound amazing. And he's like, yeah, let's get burritos. I was like, yes, burritos. And, yeah, did I do anything else today? Oh, I went to the grocery store. Wow, that was a really not exciting ending to my day. And then I went to the grocery store. Now I've been home making videos. But overall, it's been a good weekend, right? Got to watch Walking Dead. Oh my gosh, guys, Walking Dead last night was great. It was so good. It's the mid-season finale, which basically means they're taking like their winter hiatus, and then they come back with the rest of the full, it'll be like a full third season with the two halves put together. So this was the mid-season finale, and everybody was like, be prepared, bring a diaper, and I was like, I didn't need a diaper, but my goodness was it good. I was like, oh dang, season 3 has stepped it up. Like, they brought the heat. I was very happy about that. Because season 2 was good, it was just a little slow sometimes. Like, it was all worth it. In the end, I was like, I'm really glad I watched that. It's not like Heroes season 2, and I was like, that was a complete waste of my time. But with Walking Dead season 2, I was like, this is good. There's such good elements to it and things that made me go, yeah, it was worth the wait, you know? But then, at the same time, when I think on it in comparison to the other 2 seasons, I'm like, no. Like, it should have been more of this, but it didn't happen. So yeah, if you're not caught up on Walking Dead, I would suggest catching up. And if some of you guys on Twitter yesterday were saying that you've only seen the first season, I think that you should definitely take the time to watch all of season 2, all of season 3, because even though season 2 is a little bit slow, it provides so much good info. And if you are a fan of the comic books and you're not caught up, don't expect it to ever get back on track, because it just doesn't. Like, it doesn't. It never ever finds its way back to the thread of the comic book, which I think is fine. I actually love that. I was talking with somebody about how it's a lot like Akira, in that they take the same characters, but they do something completely different with them. Like, because Akira the manga and Akira the anime, totally different, but they're like the same characters, right? It's kind of the same with Walking Dead. It starts off the same, and then it deviates really quickly. And it's really cool that way. So, yeah, so I like it a lot. And, that's, man, that was my weekend. That was my weekend. Crendor went home this morning, and, there's nothing else. There's nothing else to follow that up with. Crendor went home this morning, and the end. Now he's home and probably elated to be home. Not because he hates us, but because he loves not being around people, which I totally get. So, anywho, I got bit by a bug just now. I knew it. Dang it. Now I'm gonna be itching my knee all day. I hope that you guys had a great day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Mwah!